Hey, what's up, Nerdgasm fans? Jerry here, aka Barnacles, and I'm starting a new video series that I call School for Noobs, where me, a noob myself, attempts to teach you something cool about computers that you don't already know. And if you do know it, help out others in the comments. Today, we're going to cover a feature in Windows 8 not a lot of people know about called HyperV, which lets you create virtual machines and run them right alongside your operating system. So stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoy it. Hypervisor. Now, this is a feature that for some reason Microsoft didn't think to really mention to a whole lot of people, and it's in the server product and heavily used in the server world, but I think it has just as good of applications on the desktop. And what Hyper-V is it's a virtual machine host. It's basically allows you to install another operating system on top of your operating system and run it in a virtual environment. It's actually similar to how, like on a Mac, you can run Windows under Boot Camp. You know, it's kind of similar to that, or Parallels would be the better example. Boot Camp, you have to boot into it. Parallels, you can run Windows and OS X at the same time. It's basically creating a virtualized environment to run Windows. Well, what you're allowed to do here with Hyper-V is you can pretty much host any operating system you want. You can run Linux, UNIX, BSD, Solaris, Windows, everything pretty much except for OS X. And I bet you there's somebody out there that's figured out how to get OS X on there, but I wouldn't know anything about that. But Hyper-V, first off, isn't enabled by default in box. You have to actually go enable it. So the way you enable it in Windows 8 is you open the control panel, which I'll bring right over here. And to do that, just open up your Metro UI or your start menu and just type control and it'll show up control panel. And then I usually search for the word add. And then down here you have turn Windows features on or off. Once you click that, you can see down here there's a feature called Hyper-V. And there's the management tools and the platform. You want to check both of these boxes. Now, I've already installed it on my machine, and I didn't want to like uninstall it and then reinstall it for the video because I have VMs already hosted. So you want to check those boxes and you click OK. Now that's going to take probably, a couple minutes, 3-5 minutes, and that's going to install the component, and then it's going to want to reboot your computer. Once you've rebooted your computer, just open up your search page, do this, and type Hyper, and you get over here, HyperV Manager. Right here. So you click on the Hyper-V Manager, and then you get this cool thing right here. And what you want to do in here is this is where you manage all your virtual machines. Now think of a virtual machine as a full-blown PC. It's just emulated. And not all of it's emulated. A lot of it's done with hardware, and there's a lot of stuff you can read up on that. But I don't want to dig too deep into the technical side of it. I just want to kind of say what it is and how it's used. So to give you an example, I already have a VM running right here that I created earlier. It's called Barnacles Nerdgasm Tutorial VPC. And if I double click it, it opens up right here. You can see it sitting, it looks just like the other machine. You can kind of see it here. I'm going to go ahead and make it full screen with Control-Alt-Break. And you can see it's just like I'm sitting on a PC, but this is actually a virtualized PC. If you look here, I don't have the start date. This one has a completely clean new menu. This is a completely separate computer running under a completely separate account, but it's running inside of the host operating system. See, it's right here. It's running, tells you what the CPU usage, how much memory I assigned to it, how many cores I gave to it. So you can see I already have a Windows VM running. And this is the VM I'm going to be using for future videos. I wanted to create a VM that I could use for stuff like this, where I'm doing schooling and I'm installing lots of software and stuff, because then I can create bookmarks and go back to it, and I don't have to continuously keep dirtying up my PC to do videos like this. I know, pretty smart, right? So what we're going to do for this video is I'm going to show you guys how to create a new VPC and how to install an operating system on it. And we're going to start off by just installing Fedora, which we have. Actually, I have it sitting on the desktop of the VPC, but you can't install a VPC inside of a VPC. It won't let you. Now, technically, you could probably install VMware inside of the VPC and run another virtual PC, but there's no reason why you'd want to run two virtual PCs deep. That's just a waste of resources. So let's go ahead and close that down. Notice, even though it's closed, it's still running. Until I actually right-click on it and I say turn off or power off, it doesn't do anything. And I can also create a snapshot. And what a snapshot does is that basically records the machine at that point in the time. You can see up here, it's taking the snapshot. And now I can go into that VPC after the snapshot, and I can trash anything. I can delete the Windows folder, I can break the computer, I can make it not bootable, I can just trash the damn thing. And if I have a problem, I just revert to the snapshot. Boom, I'm back to exactly where I started. And that is a kick-ass feature. That's one of the things I really love about virtual machines, is if you download a piece of software you're unsure about, like whether it's riddled with viruses or it's potentially malware, install it under a VPC first. And if it completely blows up the system, takes over the universe, and tries to threaten you to Western Union money to some guy over in some foreign country named Habib, if your name happens to be Habib, I'm sorry. But you get what I mean. You can basically go back and revert, and there's no way the virus can take control of your machine. It's completely self-contained. It's awesome. So if you have a virus on your virtual machine, it's not going to get on your physical machine. So let's go ahead and create a new machine, and that's really easy to do. You just go up here to File, or Action, sorry, New Virtual Machine, and it pops up and says, you know, before you begin, here's the wizard, blah, blah, blah. Just read through that stuff if you want. Click Next. Now it wants a name for it. So what do we want to call this virtual machine? We'll call it Fedora. Or, yeah, is it Fedora or Fedora? I don't remember. Anyways, Fedora Linux distro. And then I want to store it under virtual machines. That's where I want to put it. It asks how much memory do I want to allocate to it. Well, since it's Linux, it doesn't need a whole lot, so we'll just give it a gig. And then for networking, I'm going to say I want to give it a connection of my home network. Now, actually, I'm not going to do that. And the reason why is you can't create a connection by default. You have to go set up a networking switch first, and I'll show you how to do that after I create this virtual machine. So for now, I'll select home network. And then it says for virtual hard disk, how big do you want it? 127 gigs? Well, it's Linux. I just need we'll just say 60 gigabytes, give or take. Go ahead and create that. And then it says, where do you want to install the operating system from? Well, I want to install it based on an ISO file. Fedora. And now we're good to go. Next. Okay, click Finish. There it goes, creating the VPC. You can see up there that Barnacules Nerdgasm Tutorial PC is still running. Now, it created the machine, and the machine is off. Now, the step I wanted to show you guys is in order for your virtual machine to be able to use the network, you have to create a virtual NIC. The virtual machine isn't just going to have a conduit to get to the internet. So to do that, you just come over here on the little sidebar over here, and you got to find Switch, where there's a virtual switch manager. And you come in here and you say you want to create a virtual switch for external, which means your external network. And then you select the network card that you want and click Apply and OK. Once you do that, and you give it a name, like Home Network or My Local LAN. And once you do that, then you basically have a route for your VPC to go out through the NIC in your host computer and then out to the internet. You can also create other networks that are local virtual networks so that you can have like 3 or 4 virtual machines that have network connections to each other, but they don't actually communicate outside of that network. So if you're doing like testing of client server applications and stuff like that, and you don't want to pollute your home network with the traffic, you can do that. It's really cool. So now that we've done that, we've mounted the image. All we need to do is connect to the machine, which you can see it's not currently powered on. And we just push the power button to start it up. And it's just like you're booting a regular machine. You know, you even see a fake little BIOS here, and starting Fedora Live in 6 seconds. And it'll start installing just like you were booting it straight off of your machine. All right, well, apparently fast TSC calibration failed, but it's still continuing, so I think we're okay. Kind of a cool progress bar. It's been a while since I've installed Fedora. I used to run VMware under Windows 7 to host my virtual machine, so I really like that Windows 8 just has this functionality built into it, and it's actually quite fast. It's all hardware virtualization, so if you have an Intel Core i5 or i7 processor that has the, I think, what is it, the Virtual D or hardware virtualization, it works awesome. So here you can see we've got our little machine up here. We want to go ahead and install the hard drive. Again, if you want to do it full screen so you don't get confused with other stuff around, you just do Control-Shift-Break. And here it is live screen just like you're running it native on the computer. So I want to install the hard drive. You see you got a little draw blip there. Okay, what language do we want? I speak it English, so I'm going to go with that. All right, so network configuration. It already detected my network is connected. Automatic partitioning selected. Let's see, what am I missing here? There you go. Click on that one. Done. Please complete the items marked. Okay, so I got my storage. I've got this. Disks left unselected will not be touched. All right, so select devices you want to install to. This is the one. Oh, I needed a check mark. That's what I didn't have before. All right. Automatically configure Fedora to the disk. Yep, that's fine. I'm just going to let it do everything automatic. So it looks like it's doing some stuff, and begin installation. And there we have it. So what it's doing right now is I took that ISO file and I attached it to the computer as a physical CD drive. So the virtual machine thinks it has a CD drive with a Fedora CD in it. So it's basically booting off of that ISO right there. And just like your computer would if you stuck it in the CD drive and power cycled your machine. And now we're installing to it. And as far as the software is concerned, it doesn't know it's in a virtual machine. With the exception of Windows. Windows 8 actually will notice if it's running inside of a virtual machine because they actually put code in there specifically to do that. But I haven't seen any other client operating systems have that problem. So it says I need to set a root password. So let's go ahead and do that. And I will set my root password. There's no way you would ever guess what my password is. Somehow you guys probably will. Okay, good enough. Done. Okay, no users will be created, and we're 30% done installing. Oh, one other quick thing that I wanted to take notice of is you can see it looks a lot like remote desktop when you connect to the virtual machine. The little bar at the top, and you can minimize. The other thing is you can minimize it down to your taskbar and do other stuff. You can see here the CPU utilization is 8%. So I can switch over here, and here's my already running Windows virtual PC. And I can do stuff with this while I'm waiting for the other one to install. So it's like I have all these different virtual PCs running together. And you can even change the resolution on them. Just like a real PC, I'd come in here and say, I want to make this really small. Let's make it 1280 by 800. See, now it's a much smaller window to put on my desktop. So now I can come over here to my Fedora Linux distribution. And now I've got them both up on the screen at the same time. And I can use them both at the same time. This one's over here installing. This one's doing its thing. Now, one other thing I can show you while it's installing here. Let's go ahead and go back to full screen. Actually, I don't want to be in full screen. Never mind. Up here on the bar, if you go to Actions, or I think it's File Settings, go to File Settings. Let's see, wait for it to open up here. Oh, it opened on the other monitor. Sorry. All right, so this is what you get. Here's the settings for the virtual machine. You can do a lot more than what it lets you do when you first create the machine. See how I only have one virtual processor assigned? I can come over here. Now, granted, you have to stop and restart the machine because you're changing the hardware. I can say that I want to give it more or less cores, and I can even say how much of the physical system I want to allow that virtual machine to have. That way, if the virtual machine's running at 100%, it's not consuming 100% of my PC. And so it's really cool how you can adjust all of these settings. You can also add additional hard drives. You can attach USB devices. You can do all kinds of crazy stuff so that your virtual machine can actually take advantage of other hardware. There's two IDE controllers. There's a SCSI controller, so you can add SCSI drives under there. You can add more than one network card. You can virtualize COM ports, add a disk drive. It's pretty cool, all the stuff that you can do with this. And then once you change those settings and start it back up, the computer now has more availability of resources. NUMA configuration, I've never even done any of this stuff, so this is stuff I might want to look at in the future. So it says we're complete. Yay! So we can click reboot or quit to reboot the machine. Okay, power it back on. Oh, I forgot I still have the CD in the drive. Here, shutdown. Oh, it doesn't support shutdown. You have to install something special to do that. Turn it off. All right, media, DVD drive. See this right here? I just eject the ISO because we don't want the ISO connected anymore. Fire it back up. And there we have it. Want to boot into Linux? Let's go ahead and full screen it. Fast TSC calibration failed once again. And this is Fedora 19 booting right now. Okay, I got a cursor. Okay, English. Go through our little post setup here. Wants me to create an account. Let's go ahead and do this. Okay, next. Search for my location. I'm over here somewhere. That'll work. No, I don't need a cloud account. And the computer is now ready to use. Now, currently I only have one processor allocated to this machine. That's why it seems like it's so slow. You can actually speed things up quite a bit by allocating more resources to the virtual machine. But again, remember, I'm running more than just one virtual machine right now. I have another Windows running in the background. So right now I'm running Windows 8 is my host operating system running on the bare metal hardware. And then I have a virtual machine running Windows 8 sitting on top of that. And now I have another virtual machine running Fedora sitting on top of that. It's trying to give me some kind of a tutorial on how to use GNOME. I just hit escape, get out of that. And there we have it. We are now in Fedora, so we can go under displays, change the resolution. Looks like the current driver doesn't support much more than that resolution. Now, the thing I'm curious about is this is where I learn with you guys. This is some stuff that I don't know. So, HyperV comes with a services integration disk. So I just went and said insert the service integration disk. This basically mounts it. So I'm going to open up the integration disk. Come on, open up. See the AMD 64. And I think the integration services is just for Windows. So don't quote me on that. I need to do a little research on that. But sometimes you can install virtual drivers too. You can actually install different drivers under the host operating system to get more features out of the virtualization. So now if we go ahead and shut this down, so let's go ahead and say we want to shut it down. You can see it's now when I issued the shutdown, it's gracefully shutting it down instead of just pulling the power plug. So we're almost done shutting down here. Okay, virtual machine is now powered down. Now if we go into settings, you can see under here I can go down to processor and say, let's say I want to allocate 4 processors to speed it up. And then let's go add hardware. So you can add SCSI controller network adapter, legacy network adapter, or fiber channel adapter. Those are the available hardware choices. So you can't change the video card that it emulates. Let's see, processor. Then the integration services, operating system shutdown, time synchronization, data exchange, heartbeat, and backup. Those are the features that are supported by this VM. Okay, so it doesn't look like we can install a better video driver. I'll have to do some research on that. But if you can install a better video driver that recognizes the virtualized hardware, then you can change the resolution and make it full screen and all that good stuff. VMware seemed like it was a little bit better for Linux as far as support in that area, but I'm going to do a little research and I'll do a follow-up video to this later on with some of the cool bells and whistles that I find. So anyways, let's go back to action and start. You can see I still got my HyperV Manager opened right here. And let's see, close that down. You can see right now my machines, they're both running. Go back to my tutorial PC here, where I lowered the resolution. So as far as it's concerned inside of here, it's its own self-contained PC. I can do whatever I want to it and just fall back to the snapshot. If I delete the file off this, it's only deleting off the virtual machine. I hope this is making sense to you guys. I know I'm just used to VMs. I use them all the time. So if there's anything I'm leaving out or anything you're confused on, just put it down in the comments and we'll catch it in the next video. So here's Fedora now, booting on my other hypervisor. There I am, log in. And here we are sitting on the desktop. So, activities, Chrome, or Firefox, sorry. So now we're opening up Firefox in the VM, and you can see it's actually able to reach the internet. So we can go to Bing. Also, guys, another thing that Microsoft surprises me with is Bing. Bing actually used to suck, but now it's actually really awesome. I absolutely love Bing over Google. And the main reason is you can sign up for the reward points up here. And every time you do a search, you get like 5 points, or it's like a point or 5 points or something like that. And you can actually trade them in for like Starbucks cards. I've gotten Starbucks cards and I use them for Microsoft Xbox Live points. So I've bought like 4 or 5 car packs and Forza 4 Motorsports for free, just using points for just searching for stuff. So close this. Yeah, go ahead and close Firefox. So still in Fedora. It looks like, I've got some other applications that are in by default. Documents, Rhythmbox, let's see, Evolution. Now, some of the things here, let's see, we got the sound settings. It's got dummy output. I don't see a sound card. I'll have to figure out how to get the sound card to work in HyperV. It works for the Windows. Oh, I thought it worked for the Windows machine. Oh, it looks like there's no audio driver for Windows either. So I probably need to go download the driver packs for these guys. Like I said, I'm still pretty new to HyperV. I used virtual VMware a lot before, but this is all built into the operating system, and it's actually really, really cool stuff. So I'm not going to confuse this video too long because I think we've already ran a really long time, and I'm sure most of you have already checked out and went and watched another video. I know the ADHD makes it impossible to watch past 10 minutes, but if you guys did make it to the end of this video, please let me know in the comments. If you liked it, let me know in the comments. If you think it sucked and I'm an asshole for even attempting to do something like this, leave it in the comments. And we'll go from there. But I really do enjoy doing these videos, so if it helps even a single person out, I count this as a success. So guys, I hope this gave you a nerdgasm, and until next time. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, favorite, and subscribe. It helps me a bunch. Also, come follow me on Facebook and Twitter. I love interacting with you guys.